So what was it?
We
Do
joined
you remember the name?
uh,
Do you remember? Do you remember the name of platform?
yeah, Quiz Me only. Platform
Me.
name is Quiz Me. Yes.
All right. So this was all about the assessment round.
Yeah, exactly.
So once you would, if you select the assessment round, like how much time it took to get the next round, technical round?
Technical was given like within the span of 1 week itself. And first we rejection mails was given for the not eligible candidates, and within 1 to 2 hours of span of time, the eligible one got the interview links, like interview dates they have given. It is completely offline interview, not the online interview.
Online. Okay. So you mentioned they were going back to your initial talk. You mentioned like 4 sections were there. No, basically,
Yes.
Once we done with section 1, then only we can go to the section 2, or else we can come back to the section 1 later. Such kind of interface was there? Like how was it?
Like we can shift based on our selection. We can shift to the question to question. There is no problem. Kind of.
Okay, if I am writing an exam and if I don't know the answer for the first question, so I can attempt later. Correct?
Yes, exactly.
Chalo then.
You can mark as a review and we can come again.
Cool. And how was your technical round experience, Shashi? Offline interview experience? How was it?
Yeah, before appearing for the interview, I was a bit scared of the things like how was this company and all. I was not aware of things, and once I come to the interview to this company, I have seen the environment. It is completely different, and I got after talking with the interviewer, and he make me as a cool person, and he given some water for me, and after that he started asking the questions. Like he was focusing more on the project at the initial point of time, and after telling you the project and all, and he asked what is my role and all, and whether this project is accepted by your mentors and all, and we said and all. He asked publications, any done on the publications. We haven't done any publication on this project that I have mentioned. And moving on to the moving on, he is more focusing on the cloud part and the SDLC part, software development lifecycle. He is more focusing on both these things, as I mentioned in my resume. And he was more focusing on the networking concepts also and OS concepts, mostly computer science concepts. Because I am from computer science, he is expecting like fundamentals of computer science interview questions. Okay.
So nothing like they'll be giving some couple of questions, coding questions, and you need to write in front of them. Nothing like that.
Yeah, he asked me to write one array question, like sorting of an array. Like I have written on the board itself. Like there was a board there, and we have to write our code.
Okay, so how was the testing level, Shashi? Like they were asking you like what is the complexity, what is the time complexity, everything they were asking, like just a pseudo code kind of thing. So how was they were testing you?
It's testing from like he will start from the basics and he will move to the medium, not the advanced kind of things. Basic to medium, in between basic to medium, I'd say.
All right. So did they mention any specific programming language, or you had a flexibility of single language? Like
he asked me to write in any coding language. No problem.
All right. So they mentioned about networking were asked, and cloud was asked, and
yes,
was also asked. And I guess one thing you need to remember, if you have done some publications, that can be added advantage in every interview. It is irrespective of any organization. So it can be added benefit to you. That's one point from my end. So any question related to DBMS kind of question?
Yeah, I forgot. They have asked the DBMS questions also, because DBMS is very important in any interview.
Yep.
Yeah.
So like how was that? Like they gave a query and write a query. Like how did they ask you?
Like basic questions like what is DBMS, or how is DBMS different from the RDMS kind of things, and the keys, different types of keys, and how gonna use those things, basic kind of things.
Okay. So any situation-based questions, Shashi, like they will be giving a scenario. So how you gonna deal with this scenario? If you are a team lead, if a so and so person is not obeying your order, like how you gonna handle the situation? Such kind of questions did they give? Did they ask?
I remember one question like it was based on the cloud. He asked like how gonna application works when we don't know about the most number. For example, I can say we have an application. If we don't know that n number of people are hitting that application at some point of time.
Okay.
Those kind of question he asked, like how gonna manage this, how gonna manage the servers, how gonna manage the storage kind of thing. He asked this, and I gave answer, but he's not accepted.
Okay. So what I understood is, just correct me if I'm wrong. Look, cloud testing was based on, they will be, instead of asking direct question, they will be asked according to a situation. So if they ask situation, in this situation, what are the resources you will be using? Such kind of questions they will be asked.
How gonna manage the resources?
All right.
Exactly.
So yeah, guys, here, if you are done any certifications, make sure that you have a proper knowledge about that, and make sure that in what situation, which resources are being used. So they're gonna ask you at that level of testing. So better to have a proper understanding of a tech. Okay. And anything else, Shashi? Are we missing anything in the technical round perspective?
No. For example, the interview consists morely on the technical and the managerial. In the last, they ask a few managerial questions, kind of how gonna help this organization to you if you got, or like what is your from this point to the 5 years point of time, like how gonna plan your life kind of things they have asked.
So it's like where you see yourself after 5 years kind of.
Yeah, exactly. I did not remember.
So did they ask anything about what you know about our company kind of question, Shashi?
At the time of they have asked, and I have read their website in the starting, and I gave some points on that. It's gonna help everyone when we gonna appear for the interview. We need to know like what kind of technologies they were working and what type of solutions they were giving to the world.
So one thing, guys, you need to remember that in every video I have saying this thing. So once you are appearing for any organization interview, it's better to know everything about the company. Not everything. If you know what sector it is working, what are the tech it is implementing in its product, and who are its main clients. So this much of data is sufficient to know about everything about the company. So that is what she gave input. And there was a HR round in the same round, or it was separate?
It's kind of a domain and core values. They have mentioned like interviews, domain and core values, and they have asked a few HR questions in the last.